It's been a long while since I did one of these search for the edgiest videos. I think the last one was like Dore Yugi, which was like, yeah, that was a while. But Tails Gets Trolled wasn't that long ago, was it? Never mind, it's been a while. Well, it's been getting a good amount of views, so maybe that's why I don't think it's been that long. But here we are, on to the next, and trust me, it's a doozy. On this search, we come across a manga that combines completely awful characters, gore out the wazoo, and a plot that is so confusing with twists and turns that it makes Nomura look like a traditional storyteller. That's right, today we're going to look at Freak Island. Before I really get into Freak Island, I should just make a quick note about the translator, Chillock. So Chillock has a discerning taste when it comes to choosing what manga he translates, and he puts his own spin on them. You can tell that instantly by the memes he adds to the end of the chapters. As for the actual translations, they are essentially joke translations, things that were clearly not what the mangaka wanted, probably. Like, there's this one manga he translated where the whole chapter was extremely British, and personally, I find it hilarious. It makes the work seem more self-aware than they are, and that increases the enjoyment. I know some people don't like it for the reasons I said before, but let's not kid ourselves. None of the manga he translates are award winners, even if they had a proper translation. They're schlock at the end of the day, so I'm all for it. Alright, now let's look at the manga.
My turn! You told me it was my turn!
Freak Island starts out with a humble beginning, but really, it's so much more. There are these university students who are part of the Ruins Research Society, and they go to this unknown island to take pictures. And when I say unknown, they literally do the minimal amount of research on the island before going there. Probably would have realized this was a spooky ass island if they even did a quick Google search, but whatever. This is actually some good foreshadowing though. It kind of clues you in on how brain dead the characters will act later. So while going around the island, they see a man, and because they think he's shipwrecked, one of them swims to shore to check on him. And the man on the beach then absolutely domes him, and the ship crashes because I guess no one was driving the boat. And we kickstart the story as the students try to survive on the island. Yeah, sounds simple, right? Well, there are some things early in the story that kind of hint the craziness yet to come. There's a ton of radioactive barrels on the floor, and the giant pig man is seen talking to someone who seems to have a big plan. But there was nothing that could prepare any of us for where the story ended up going, and I don't even think I completely understand what happened. Okay, here's your spoiler alert, because I want to talk a little bit about some of the crazier plot elements. If I'm being honest, I have no idea what happens to the plot. The first and most important thing is that there are more villains than just the pig man and Master Roshi. Like, not even just the crazy abusive detective looking for his daughter to abuse more. I'm talking about the family of Freak Island. And past those two, there's the vain daughter with super speed and Wolverine nails. Oh, she wants his love and someone who's as beautiful as she deserves. Then there's the other son who's a psychic. He can read people's minds and see the future. Look, his character can see the future. That's his character. He can't even fight. I could probably beat him up. Things kind of get more muddy because there's the rest of the family, but they have some beef with the family members I already mentioned. Plus, they come into the story later when the plot has already jumped the tracks and taken out bystanders. There's the twins who are like birds or something. They have scythes and are small, I guess. One of them got trampled and killed by pigmen, that's all I really remember. There's the mom who has one eye and is scary, I guess. Finally, we have the grandmother who can grow to the size of Godzilla. I really don't need to say anything more about her. As you can see, the villainous family is kind of one note once you really get into it, but it's alright because they are absolutely crazy and it fits perfectly into this bonkers story. And the best way I can describe it is that religion is magic. I keep trying to think of ways to talk about it, but I'm at a loss for words. Like, I know what happened in my head, but I'm really having trouble explaining it to you. Like, how do I explain that the MC was saved by feral humans and eventually fused with a leader who was only pretending to be feral when they stumbled upon the ancient ship with the god eye on it? Or how the villain family duked it out in a shonen-esque battle with the church because they're fighting over the child of perdition because it's as the Bible prophesies and will bring great power. Also, Santa Maria. There's a lot to unpack with this manga, and that would be a whole video itself if I tried to go through everything. Plus, there's something else I can't explain the way my brain wants me to. See, the actions that these Cro-Magnons, main characters decide to take are so baffling at times that it kinda hurts to think about. And then like a boxer that's forced to fight after getting ground pounded in the last round, my last remaining brain cells have to decipher the hellscape that is the plot, and I already tried that. To put it simply, these characters are just the worst. I get it. Things are obviously dire because a pig of a human has a hammer and probably likes to taste the man. And when that happens, you could probably be forgiven for being selfish and looking out for numero uno so you can see the next day. I get it, I really do, but I have my limits. There's a point where the characters start to not only actively hinder the ones around them, but themselves as well. except for the MC, but even then that's just barely. He becomes a brainless superhero later, and I use superhero loosely, like very loosely. He's mostly powered by horniness, and speaking of, I should do a video on Libidor sometime. At every turn where the students have a chance to do the smart thing or be a good person, they choose whatever the opposite choice is. They're all extremely self-absorbed, and I'm impressed that so many garbage people gathered together like this. Like, when they fish out extremely fucked up fish, they chow down like it's no biggie. I really don't know how they saw this and weren't immediately put off. There's also the part where they were sailing off the island with the psychic son. Sure, they weren't getting off the island, but why were their first thoughts to throw the psychic kid off the boat? Other than them being complete assholes, of course. And when they finally are about to die, they take that opportunity to be an asshole. It truly makes no sense to me. But let me be fair, there were times where they did try to help each other. Well, there was definitely that one time, but that failed miserably. It's actually the funniest scene in the manga in my humble opinion. So yeah, this is a situation where I can really root for anyone. Maybe the main character, but like I said, he's a little too far gone right now. But it's really liberating. I'm not worried about anyone dying and it's super stress-free. I'm just in for the ride wherever it takes me, if it ever gets translated. Screw line. As for the gore, it's super detailed and they're never afraid to show off anything crazy. Just when you think it'll happen off screen or something, you turn to the next page and wham, there it is. No body part is truly safe, and when you add superpowers into the mix, it gets truly ruthless. My favorite imagery was when Pigman threw crosses with people on it right through other people. I think that's the perfect image to capture the essence of Freak Island. But I shouldn't be surprised by the amount of gore in this manga. This is by the guy who made Pumpkin Night, another manga I'm probably going to have to look at sometime in the future. It's pretty crazy too. Maybe not as crazy as Freak Island, but crazy nonetheless. I really recommend Freak Island if you want some super crazy and edgy manga to bend and twist your mind. Even with all the stuff I did talk about, I don't think I actually talked about half the stuff that goes on. I don't know if this is the best manga I've looked at for search for the edgiest, but it's by far the craziest one. Okay, if you count Tails Gets Trolled, then maybe it's not as crazy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out that video. Alright, I'm done. So what did you think of this video? If you liked it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. It means a lot. And if you have any suggestions, make sure you let me know in the comments below. I read most of them. And before you try to create the child of perdition for your own personal gain, have a good day.